All right, so the Magic Wand tool, along with the Grow and similar commands, all very easy to use. The downside is that they generate jagged selection outlines, which is why I'm going to show you how to refine these selections using the extremely powerful Select and Mask workspace. And so for starters, you need to make sure that you have your selection outline loaded. If not, go up to the Select menu and choose the Load Selection command. Then switch over to the Layers panel and convert the background into an independent layer by double-clicking on it, and I'll just go ahead and call this new layer Clouds and click OK. Then I'll convert the selection outline to a layer mask by dropping down to the Add Layer Mask icon at the bottom of the Layers panel and clicking on it. And now if you take a very close look at this layer mask thumbnail, you can see that everything that was formerly selected is now white and everything that was deselected is black. And the upshot is that the white pixels in the layer mask make the clouds opaque and the black pixels make them transparent. All right, now I really want to be able to see what I'm doing, especially around the edges. So I'm going to add a layer of contrasting color by going up to the layer menu, choosing New Fill Layer, and then choosing Solid Color. And I'll go ahead and name this layer Red because that's the color it's going to be. And then I'll click OK. And now here inside the Color Picker dialog box, you just want to drag the circle to the top right corner of the color field, at which point you should see a hue value of 0 degrees and the saturation and brightness values should each be 100%. In which case, go ahead and click OK to accept that color. Now, the obvious problem is that our layer of red is in front of the clouds, but you can easily fix that just by dragging it down the stack. All right, now I'm going to zoom in on the clouds so we can see just how wretched they are. Not only do we have these bad edges, but we've also have these kind of rivers going through the clouds. And then down here at the bottom, everything declines into a bunch of big squares, which is obviously not acceptable. But we can deal with all of that quite easily by first selecting the clouds layer. So you can either click on the image thumbnail or the layer mask, and then go up to the select menu and choose Select and Mask. Or notice you have a keyboard shortcut of Control-Alt-R or Command-Option-R on the Mac. That R stands for Refine. All right, I'm going to zoom back out by pressing Control-0 or Command-0 on the Mac. And if you click on this view item right here, you'll see that by default, it's set to onion skin, which is just fine. That creates a merger of the image and its background. I want to better see the background, so I'm going to crank my transparency value all the way up to 100%. All right, now I'm going to zoom back in on these details down here just so we can get a better sense of what's going on. And then I'll twirl open the edge detection item. So you want to click on a little arrowhead in front of it to display the radius value. Now, I'm not going to get into every single option that's available to us because this workspace operates like a kind of independent program, which is why we will be seeing more of it in the future, especially in the advanced course. But for now, just note that this radius option here creates a kind of channel around the selection edges, around these masked edges right here, that allows Photoshop to re-examine the quality. And so notice if I click in a radius value and just press the up arrow key a couple of times, things start to dramatically improve as we're seeing here. And at a radius of about 10 pixels, we end up seeing a lot of that choppiness go away. Now, I want to stress that this isn't a blur value. It's not a feather value either. What you're doing is you're giving Photoshop a kind of channel that in my case is 10 pixels wide in which to reevaluate the selection. But that may not be quite enough because notice that we still have some pretty choppy edges inside of this cloud. And so with the radius value still active, I'll press Shift up arrow in order to increase the value in increments of 10 pixels. And you'll see that things start getting much, much better. Now I'm going to press Control-0 or Command-0 on the Mac to zoom out because I want to see this area up here at the top. Notice if I increase the radius value to 100 pixels, at first, you may end up seeing some weird blue artifacts up there at the top of the sky, but once you press the Tab key in order to accept that change, those problems will resolve. So again, you may or may not see this kind of stuff, but basically there's a lot of magic going on under the hood that the preview has to resolve. All right, so as you can see, we have some great bounce on the clouds down here at the bottom of the image. We do still have a little bit of residual blue going on, but that's going to work itself out when we move the clouds into our composition in the very next movie. So for now, all you need to do is click OK in order to apply your refinement to the layer mask. And now I'll press Shift F in order to switch to the full screen mode, and I'll zoom in as well. And just to give you a sense of how much progress we've made, I'll press Control-Z or Command-Z on the Mac. This is the original very jagged Magic Wand selection. And then if I press Control or Command-Z again, this is the much improved layer mask thanks to the power of the Select and Mask workspace here inside Photoshop CC.